Oh man, another day in ranked adventures with AG. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Now, there's something about playing support that I always find very interesting, especially in the higher SRs, where people are in upper masters are like, you know what, I can play Ana and Zenyatta, but I just can't play Lucio. I can't play Mercy, but I can definitely play Ana or Zenyatta, which require so much more. And that's what I want to talk about today, just the factor of people that say that they can't play Lucio or Mercy, but they can sure as hell play Zenyatta or Ana. It just bothers me because the last thing I think I would want to do is, if you can't handle the micromanagement of playing Lucio, how in the hell are you going to make the calls to discord somebody while healing someone else and being able to turn behind you while focusing down targets, such as calling discords on your targets while also shooting at them with your projectile around the corner, while also trying to heal your teammates at the same time and listen for those specific kind of ultimates happening and listening for the footsteps of the enemies and listening for your calls of your teammates that need heals because you're not the same kind of healer that you would be as a Lucio. Or, from the Ana perspective, being able to call your sleep targets, being able to get a sleep on the Pharah or even kill the Pharah, while also being sure to keep your allies healed up while dealing damage to the enemies when necessary, calling your purples or your grenades that land on the enemies, doing all of that micromanaging. You go from being able to focus on healing and just paying attention to who's low at sometimes and booping people away, to calling specific shots, making sure that you call your discords, making sure that you call your sleeps, making sure that you call your purples, making sure that you heal people as much as you can, maintaining line of sight with so many different people at once. It goes from focusing on just being able to play the game and look at it from a distance to having to micromanage 11 other people that are in the current game. And it's so frustrating to me to hear someone say that they can't play Lucio, but they sure as hell can play Ana and Zenyatta, because I immediately know that that's false. Because if you don't know how to play Lucio, then you should learn how to play him first before you even think about touching Ana or Zenyatta. And the reason I say that, playing Zenyatta at a higher level means that you are calling your discords, you are healing people that need to be healed, maintaining line of sight with people that you need to, as well as making sure that you have a clear option to get as much damage dealt as possible. So you're doing so many different things at once that your micromanaging skills need to be on par and just ready to go, to the point where it's completely irrelevant what the rest of your team is doing, but you know what you need to do and where you need to position in that sort of situation. And if you don't know how to do that, then it's really hard for me to believe that you know how to play Zenyatta. I've had somebody at the Masters level tell me that they really are good at Zenyatta, but they can't play Lucio, and next thing I see him doing is he's ulting for a Junkrat tire. Any Zenyatta player that's really good on Zenyatta and really good at playing support would know that you can't block a Junkrat tire with your Zenyatta ultimate because it's considered an insta-kill. Now granted, if they get away, then you can heal them up afterwards, but you would rather save that ultimate for a Genji ultimate, or maybe a Soldier ultimate, something like that. Or maybe even hold your Zenyatta ultimate if your Rhine still has his shield up, and then once the Rhine shield goes down, then you can pop your Trans ultimate, and then you can counter engage off of the ultimate from the Soldier. Things like that I see people just make those common mistakes. As a person that plays Zenyatta almost exclusively as well as Ana, I know how to play Lucio because it's simple micromanagement. Lucio is mostly just simple micromanagement of trying to make sure that everybody stays alive, chasing down a kill off of a speed boost. Once your team is definitely going to engage and you see them disengaging on the enemy team, you can hit that speed boost real quick and catch up and get that extra kill. That means extra ultimates for your team and extra potential later on in the game. And seeing people just make these commonality mistakes that it just frustrates me so much. The last thing I want to hear you say is that you don't know how to play Lucio, but you want to play Ana or Zenyatta. That's the last thing I want to see somebody say in my games, because I honestly believe that if you do not understand the micromanagement of playing Lucio, of trying to keep that 5x going for your team to make sure that you maintain that 5x or as many heals as possible for your team that you can, as well as getting those speed boosts in when you think is a good opportunity, and ulting when you think is necessary in order to win a fight and turn the tides of battle that way. Just learning how to play Lucio is so crucial to knowing how to play support in general that I think it would almost be like a gateway, since the skill floor is so low but the skill ceiling is pretty high. And in retrospect to Ana, specifically Ana, when we're talking about Lucio, you go from being able to heal everybody at the same time just by the flick of a wrist and press of a button, you know, it goes to you have to actively be aiming at at people and shooting them to try and get as many unscoped hits, because that's the maximum amount of efficiency that you can get for being as mobile and being able to keep up with things, as well as being able to land those scoped hits, which will help you with those harder to hit targets such as a Genji or a Tracer or a Pharah who you're trying to snipe at on your team, as well as trying to focus the enemy Pharah down who's flying around in the sky, or maybe the enemy soldier. You have to land those critical sleeps on the soldier or the ulting Reaper or the ulting Pharah. Pharah not so difficult to hit, but a soldier coming around the corner with his ultimate activated while being nano boosted. Those are all different things that you have to take into consideration that are so hard to do, and it takes so much effort and so much skill to be able to do that consistently, maintaining at least a 70% accuracy on Ana, if not more. Just all of that stuff is so difficult to do. I find that impossible if you say that you're a good Ana, that you can't play Lucio. And then moving on to Zenyatta. Calling discords is probably one of the most stressful and annoying things to do, especially in a high intensity situation, as well as keeping people healed and trying to position yourself in a way where you can see your allied health bars, which is why I think that in addition to the game where if you're playing Zenyatta or Ana or any of the healers, that you're able to see in like a sidebar or something on your screen your allies' health bars. I think that it should be on screen so you don't have to physically be looking at someone, even though yeah, you can see it through walls and that's nice and all, but let's say the person's positioned behind you or off to the corner or directly above you and you just can't see it. You could see their health dwindling and you can start to be like, all right, let me look around for my teammate instead of them having to beg for healing, something like that. But with the current state of the game, you have to pay attention to that, whereas with Lucio you do not. So it takes out that extra micromanagement aspect of playing the hero that makes them significantly easier to play. And it just bothers me how much people will say at Masters and Grandmaster where they're just like, oh, I can play Zenyatta and Ana so well and I just can't play Lucio, and they make those common mistakes of not healing somebody that's directly next to them, that's right next to them, asking for healing. They won't do it because they don't see it and they're not paying attention. They never call their discords, not a single discord called. They don't call their sleeps, don't call their purples, they don't call any anti-heals, they don't call anything. And they just sit there and they play the game and they think they're doing well and they're getting out-healed by a Lucio. Or the Lucio even, sometimes I'll have people that play Lucio and they just, usually because of the way that they manipulate the tides of battle, it depends on how much healing they're getting per minute, but trying to get around 1,000 healing done per minute is about where you should be as a healer in every game that you play. Now, I know that's not necessarily possible for a lot of the games that we play, but that's about a round where I feel that people should aim for, and I really think that it's very possible to do, and anybody can do it, and anybody can be a great support. And if you want to learn supporting, then you have to think about the kind of micromanagement that comes along with it, especially when playing people like Ana, because when you play Ana, you go from shooting at 6 people to 11, and then also trying to heal yourself. With the heal grenades, especially if you're getting focused by a Pharah, or if you're getting focused by a Genji or Tracer or Winston that are trying to dive the backline, you are constantly stressed out as Ana, especially if people make you go solo healing. That is probably one of the most stressful things to do because you have 11 targets, and a good example would be when you have the Torb Symmetra on defense and they leave you on solo heals as Ana. That is something that I've done a lot in the higher SR of Overwatch so far, and it's just difficult, and I don't understand it. I just do not understand when people say, and I've said it so many times now, I just don't understand when people say they can't play Lucio. I mean, there is so much to learn, especially with every single hero in the entirety of the game, but I honestly feel that you can learn so much by just taking a step back and saying to yourself, I'm going to learn this guy for a bit. And especially those people, if you're watching this video and you're saying the same thing, like, I can play Ana and Zenyatta just fine, I just can't play Lucio. I want you to really think about your overall effectiveness on Ana and Zenyatta. I want you to think about all of those sleep darts that you've called, all of those critical sleeps that you've landed on an ulting target such as a Roadhog or a Soldier or anybody that's Ana boosted, a charging Reinhardt, any of that stuff. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about how many anti-heals you've landed on an ulting Zenyatta and that team during a Zarya ultimate. I want you to think about all of the anti-heals you've landed on a critical target who is getting Ana boosted and who's also getting Ana healed and protected by the team. You have to think about those kind of things that you get on Ana, and the same thing with Zenyatta. You have to think about those callouts that you're making and the Zenyatta discords that you're getting and all of the things. There's so much micromanagement to it. I want to know what you guys think. I know that I've talked a lot about it, and I'm definitely here to hear what you guys want to say about any of the supports that I've mentioned, or even talk about Symmetra or Mercy, but I just wanted to focus on those two, because it always seems like the people that want to play Zenyatta and Ana are the ones that say they can't play Lucio, and that to me I find is just a absurdly wrong. I feel like that's just incorrect and some kind of crazy excuse to try and get somebody to swap off. Honestly, that gives me more of the reason to not want you to play Ana or Zenyatta, because if you lack the ability to micromanage with Lucio, then you're sure as hell not going to be able to micromanage with Zenyatta or Ana. And I live by that. I honestly think that that's 100% true, because I have seen them make so many mistakes, and I think they're going to continue to do so. But you know what? I want to hear what you guys think. You may disagree with me. That's totally okay. Go right ahead and let me know in the comments about it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, peace.